Live from the start of 2023, it's Geekshow Podcast.
Masameta is willing to do anything for you if you vote for him for Grand Vizier of the Galactic Empire. Anything. Tour of the Narkina 5 prison? Done. Meet the Emperor at his beachfront property resort on Scarif? Easy. He'll even arrange it so you can press the shiny red button on the Death Star that ends freedom in the galaxy. Just please, let him be Grand Vizier. He really, really needs this. On today's Geek Show.
Geek Show, Geek Show, Geek Show!
GeekshowPodcast.com.
Yeah.
Dang it, I love the intro so much, Lee. I love it so much. It's so good.
It's great, and
So
it's from a now defunct ska band called the Beam Me Up Ska Tees,
I get it.
and it drives our musician friends who listen to this show crazy because it is out of tune.
That's part of the charm.
It is, I think.
If it's not broken, it doesn't have personality. That's what I always say.
That's right. He's broken. That's part of his personality. He's Lee George Cade, everybody.
Oh, hold on.
Good morning.
Let me put on my podcast glasses.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you are. Okay, hi.
Exactly the same. That's the same frames.
No,
they're
it's not,
special-
Tony. Don't be silly.
They're special podcast lenses.
Oh,
Yes.
they're different. You're right.
Make everything seem larger than it really is.
So my optometrist said you need better lenses for up close stuff. Now spit. It was the strangest conversation I've ever had with an optometrist ever. At Grimley's on Instagram, I talk about miniatures and occasionally I juggle kittens, but I'm all out of kittens, so I'll just stick to the miniatures. Usually.
I've heard about this cat juggling.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up on YouTube. Just look up cat juggling with Steve Martin.
Steve Martin cat juggling.
Yeah, it's a whole bit he did in the mid-'70s while he was still doing stand-up, and it was amazing.
And it was in The Jerk as well.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's Rebecca Frost, everybody. Hi.
Hey, hi. I know you guys were so worried. I found my Bazooka Shark sweatshirt.
Oh, good. Phew.
I was accusing people when really it was just in my closet.
Oh, that darn closet.
Well, Rebecca has so many people wandering through her house. It could have been anybody. You know?
You joke. That's true, though.
He has one other person and maybe a cat, I think, wandering through his house. He's Quad T, Too Tall Tony.
How do you know these things?
Tony's cat is great because like when I go over to Tony's house, Simon's like, "Oh hi," and I'm like, "Hi, Simon." And he's like, "Shit."
Then he leans in for some more scritches and then hisses at her again. Check me out on Twitter at Quad T Tony or on the Gadget Spot podcast. That was the end. With
What?
our returning champion, Excitable James.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm existing in the same plane of reality as Rebecca right now. Ready, Rebecca?
I know,
We've
we've
practiced
got
this.
full
Uh-huh.
chaos.
You're not going to tell
Other
me.
way.
You went the wrong way, James.
Wrong
You're
way.
on the other side? Oh, this
You
is embarrassing.
obviously didn't practice it.
You can see it too.
All right, Carrie. I do need to settle this with our host, Carrie Jackson. Are we? Are we settling custody of Excitable James once and for all? Because seriously,
Wait, are you claiming custody now?
well, yeah, he's my son
This
too.
is my long lost brother.
This is the first time I've had two dads that like stuck around.
What? Can't you both be his dad?
All right.
You
no,
and me
there
both,
can
James.
be only one.
There was the September incident and then the birth incident.
That's right. Monday through Friday, 6 to 10, x96.com. We'll share custody. How about that?
That sounds good.
I have a brother.
Huzzah!
I have siblings? What's this like?
I know, it's weird,
raised-
right?
I don't know.
Must have to be our own siblings.
That's right.
Time
Rebecca
for
does not know.
noogies.
Gotta catch me first.
First of all, First of all, let's remind everybody, next week we'll be doing this in front of you live, not here on the... Well, we will be here, but we'll be. You can come and see us for realsies at Broovies in Salt Lake City. The doors open at 11:30. The podcast starts at noon, and Starship Troopers starts at 1-ish.
Oh, baby.
A repeat.
A repeat?
We've done Starship Troopers.
Long in
Well,
the
then where
before.
was
yeah.
Where
Yeah.
was this input when we were looking for what movie to pick?
I just wanted to say let's do it during a period of time that Rebecca's legal to drink.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's true.
Because last time we did it, I think you were still in high school.
Tell me the year. Tell me the year.
Don't remember.
2009.
I was graduated, old man.
by
You were
what?
graduated
Weeks?
2009?
I was only 20 though.
So, he's correct.
He's correct.
Got you
I was not the
there.
youngest anymore.
Not anymore.
I'm
All
always
right.
the baby.
Yeah, and
So, be sure.
Egg Foo asks, it was a double feature. It was called Plight of the Modern Man in a Post-Industrial Future with Paul Verhoeven. And it was RoboCop and Starship Troopers as a double feature.
Oh.
That's some sci-fi goodness right
Yep.
there.
Starship Troopers came out in 1997.
The price for admission, pay what you want.
Your
And
soul.
we mean that. We sincerely mean that. Pay what you want.
I'm not saying I could use the money.
Yes.
Is there more to this?
She says in front of all that literature.
Yeah.
Look at all that.
Okay.
Millions of dollars in Canada.
I'm finally read.
Yes. Let's begin with Jeremy Renner. It's his birthday today,
Oh,
and he's
rough
lucky.
birthday.
He's lucky to see this birthday because apparently he was pretty messed up. If somebody hadn't have seen this happen, his neighbor, who was a doctor apparently, if they had not seen this happen, he would probably be dead
Well, I
because his
think,
injuries
too,
were that bad.
Because wasn't he was pulling out a family member who got stuck in the snow. So I wonder if like the family member was like, "Oh no, I go get help."
Well, it was really something. He was using a snowcat, like the ones in The Shining,
One of the big ones.
to pull his somebody's car out of a snowbank because he lives just above Reno, and apparently they got hit with snow like crazy.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
And somehow he stopped the snowcat, got out, was doing something, and the snowcat started going. And so he tried to jump in to stop it, but instead he jumped on the tread and went under the tread. Oh, kind of like that Nazi in Indiana Jones went under the tread. And it not only severed one of his major arteries in his leg, which caused massive bleeding, but it crushed his chest area really badly. But he seems to be fine. Well, not fine, but alive and
Stable.
He's talking.
He's talking, not coherently, but he's talking.
Getting head
Yeah, that one
massages.
Instagram story. It's just so sad, man.
Yeah.
Weird to see him vulnerable.
I mean, it's just, blunt chest trauma and orthopedic injuries. There's a whole, you can find it all online. But he's lucky to be here. That snowcat weighed at least 14,330 pounds.
Just a little heavier.
That'd be like being stepped on by the Hulk.
Something.
Hey, that's
Seriously.
a reference to the movies he's in.
Oh, I get it.
Do it again. Do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again, Lee.
Do
That would
another
be
one.
that'd be like if Abomination came and cleared his driveway and accidentally stepped on him in the process.
He did it on the top of his head. He did it.
Yeah.
So call
So
the
good at this
Reno,
stuff.
call the Reno hospital and wish him well, I guess.
That'd be like if Red Skull came through on a terror tank and ran over him while he was clearing
All
his
right,
driveway.
Lee.
That's
All
too many
right.
times.
All
I don't like
right.
it.
A terror
Please
tank.
stop.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I got to write down terror tank.
Tank. I'll write a theme song.
Thank you. All right. Let's see. Oh, this was my favorite story of the week. Because you're going to have to help me with the last name pronunciation, Rebecca. Michael Giacchino?
Giacchino.
Correct, you got it.
It's Giacchino.
Is it Giacchino?
I watched the documentary where
Well,
he
now
and his
I
family.
look like an idiot, Lee.
No, you don't. You can't be the ultimate Michael Giacchino fan if you didn't watch the documentary about the making of Werewolf by Night, Rebecca.
You're all wrong. It's pronounced Johnson.
All right.
I'm with Tony, and that's the majority. It rules. Tony's now the speaker.
Dun, da, da.
Oh, James doesn't know how math works. That's fun.
I was raised in the Nebo School District.
My
Math
Me
was
too.
brother's
optional.
dumb.
How many ears of
okay.
corn do you get with a watermelon?
My kid is stupid. How many?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
that is
That's
definitely
how-
Nebo School District math. There.
That's how many.
That's how many.
You got
All
it.
right. But he is, of course, one of the most prolific film composers, but now he's moving into directing. He directed, as Lee pointed out, Werewolf by Night, and he has just signed on with Warner Brothers to direct a remake of the 1954 sci-fi classic, Them.
Too
I'm
early.
so happy for him.
It's about giant killer ants.
Yes.
When I
What?
when I read this article the first time, I mistook it and thought it said, and my brain said They Live, and I was like, oh, a They Live remake. That would be cool too. But yeah, giant ants, that's okay too.
And remember,
Giant
it's
Ants
them.
is okay.
It's them with an exclamation point. Them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer for Them is one of the greatest things in the world. It was during that period of trailers where they were just trying to scare and shock everybody. I'm hopeful that with this new invested interest in giant animal monster movies that we finally get a remake of Night of the Triffids.
Oh.
What's a triffid?
Giant rabbit.
Like,
No, you're
I'll show you.
thinking Night of the Lepus is what you're thinking.
Night of the Lepus. Yeah, what's
Night of
Triffid?
the Lepus. Triffids are bugs. Yeah.
Okay, so
Lepus
Lepus.
is the disease that Selena Gomez has.
Oh,
yeah.
that's lupus.
So Night of
It's
the
never lupus.
Night of
Latino.
Night of the Lepus, I believe, had William Shatner in it, and his death scene was in a trailer park.
It was Dr. McCoy, actually.
Oh, god damn it!
Can we trust his Giacchino pronunciation?
I don't know now.
It's Johnson.
I told you. That's what I'm saying.
So
Like
Michael
a Baskin Robbins flavor.
Michael Cappuccino is going to remake that. He said, there's always a movie in your mind that never leaves your head. For me, it's Them. It wasn't until much later in life that I learned what it was about, the nuclear age. Because in the original film, the ants are infected with radiation, grow to massive proportions, and terrorize the United States. So what I love about Them is exactly what it's called, Them. It's about the other, the unknown, which one refuses or can't understand. The current version of Them is about immigration and to tell a story about the subject through the lens of this insane science fiction monster movie.
What are they going to do? 100-foot tall immigrants and just scare the shit out of Greg Abbott?
Could
Hey,
be.
got him.
Minorities.
Man, when I was little, radiation was so much cooler than it is when I'm an adult now.
That
When I was
quicksand,
little,
right?
radiation gave everyone superpowers, made things big, you know? Now it just kills you.
And
Now it
gives
just
you- gives
fixes
you a hefty
cancer or
copay.
whatever.
It also causes cancer, though.
Oh, lose.
I know. What do you
When's
do?
TNT gonna make a comeback with quicksand? I'll tell you that.
Yep. You know another old movie I hope they bring back?
What's that?
Remember the Green Slime?
How could I forget?
Flubber.
Yeah, that had the best theme song. I don't even remember what acid rock band did it. but
Green slime.
yeah. Green Slime. Yeah.
Look it up. Maybe it's a Saturday matinee movie for us someday.
I would seriously host that, and I would tell people spooky stories before and after.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, I will. I will, Kerry Jackson. I will threaten you with a good time.
All right. Let's see. Now, we got a whole bunch of trailers released this week, and this one I know was discussed. Evil Dead Rise.
Nope.
Let's
nope,
go.
Nope.
I haven't watched this one yet,
Nope.
Yeah.
but I think I'm on board.
Maybe.
It was a damn creepy trailer, I'll tell
Yep.
you, and it evokes the whole Evil Dead thematics just beautifully.
So they'd released the Red Band trailer, but before the movie Megan, it was the Green Band trailer. And we got a
Don't
little
they
bit
just
more.
call that a trailer?
Shut up, Tony. So they had some other footage in there, including Raimi Cam, the return of the Raimi Cam.
baby.
You got Raimi Cam, you got a chainsaw, you got, what was the line that I loved? Mama lives with the
With the maggots now.
maggots now. Yeah. Mama lives with the maggots now. Oh.
Is this actress on the poster the same one from Smile?
It could be.
I look
no.
it up.
It looks.
Look it up if you
like
would, please.
her.
So-
Doing the thing.
I hear after this trailer came out,
smiled.
like police departments around the country are hoping to get Raimi cams installed because you just can't keep a door shut with a Raimi cam around.
Damn right. This is the 5th film in the series. Officially. And there was a teaser trailer on Monday that was in my mailbox that had Bruce Campbell on it. And he introduced just like 30 seconds of footage. He says, we're going to put out a trailer later, but I just wanted to say, first of all, I'm not in this movie.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't think he was.
And second of all, I'm producing this movie, so my fingerprints are all over it, and so are Sam Raimi's, and,
Yeah.
so it was his
This
official
lead-
endorsement.
This lead actress, Alyssa Sutherland, no, she was in
Vikings.
Vikings.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Here's the plots. Let's see. Evil Dead Rise does not take place in a haunted cabin in a haunted woods. It's set in Los Angeles apartment building where Ellie, Alyssa Sutherland, is raising her 3 kids when her long-absent younger sister Beth, who is in Panic at Hanging Rock, Lily Sullivan, shows up for a visit. However, you can count on some Evil Dead mainstays to show their terrifying faces. The sisters' reunion is cut short by the discovery of a mysterious book.
There it is. Necronomicon.
You don't read from the book in the bowels of Ellie's building, giving rise to flesh-possessing demons and thrusting Beth into the primal battle for survival.
Mommy, what does Necronomicon Ex Mortis mean?
Don't say it.
Google it.
So look up that trailer and enjoy. Another great little trailer that we got for a movie that I've been looking forward to is Renfield.
Yeah, I watched this one this morning.
I mean, all you had to do was say Nicolas Cage is Dracula, and I'm there. Nicholas Hoult is Renfield, and it was a wild trailer. I love the line. Aquafina's in it, and she says, Did I see you cut a guy with a decorative serving platter?"
Yeah.
To which Renfield says, "Well, it's all in the wrist."
It's in the wrists.
Oh my gosh.
But
Good year
it's,
for Nicholas Hoult, I bet.
I'll say, it's in November. Nicholas Hoult talked about it, saying he's eager for the audience to see what Nicolas Cage is doing in this. He says it's original, but it's steeped in a lot of history. Dracula history and folklore. It's exciting, even though it's very bizarre, elevated tone for an action comedy.
It definitely looks bizarre from the trailer. You think you know what you're getting in the first 30 seconds, and then it goes like sideways, and you're like, what the heck?
Robert Kirkman, Walking Dead, is involved in this. He says
Ooh. Yes.
he says it's a story about how a shitty job it is to be Dracula's henchman. It's a fun, extremely violent comedy because I've got a crutch and it's violence, he says. So
I believe
Ben
that
Schwartz is
statement.
also in it. Ben Schwartz plays like a bad guy who's covered up in tattoos. If you listen to the first episode of 2023's comedy Bang Bang, he talks all about it.
Oh, okay.
I just don't know if, as a professional Dracula hunter, I'm not ready for people to start making fun of Draculas. That's not something you laugh at.
No.
They're a menace, those Draculas.
I thought we were churro hunters.
No, we're
Oh, no, you're churro factory hunters.
Factory hunters.
we are haunted churro factory exorcists. There's a
Oh.
difference.
Okay. So you can do both, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's an amazing amount of crossover between Dracula hunter and haunted churro factory exorcist, though.
So I should sharpen my stakes.
Yes.
Well,
Sharpen your churros, my man.
churros.
Sharpen those churros up.
That's right. Another trailer that we got this week was Koala Man.
Okay. I haven't seen the trailer, but I read about this, and I'm in.
It's from one of the Rick and Morty people.
Justin Roiland.
Let's see. It's creator Michael Cusack. Oh, he's from Smiling Friends. Yeah. And let's see. Oh, and Justin Roiland is involved in this.
Hugh Jackman's in it?
Yeah, I
And
saw
Hugh-
I saw the cast, and I was like, I'm in.
The first trailer for Koala Man. We meet Kevin, a middle-aged father who has adopted the persona of Koala Man to protect his town, which on the outside looks normal, but is actually an Australian suburb of hub of cosmic and human evil.
Yes.
Hugh Jackman plays Kevin's boss, Big Greg, who ends up supporting his employee on his superhero adventures. Sarah Snook, Jermaine Clement is in it. Demi Lardner, Alexandria Diadro, Rachel House, Hugo Weaving shows up.
What?
I really hope that Hugh Jackman now really leans into just being a weirdo and choosing all the weirdo roles.
You want him to go full Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah.
I would love that.
Hanging out with Ryan Reynolds will have that effect on you. If you're watching us on the YouTube, you can see the picture of Koala Man's nemesis, the kookaburra.
It's very large.
Who sits in the old gum tree and laughs evilly.
Oh, if it's set in Australia, Hugh Jackman can use his real accent.
Yep.
They all do, yeah.
Sound like
Yeah,
him.
it's amazing.
All right,
So I do have to make a clarification for chat, Carrie. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, yes.
Greenboy28 wanted to know what we would do if it was a churro factory that was haunted by 3 Draculas. Technically, Draculas couldn't actually haunt anything because they're undead, not just dead.
Oh.
But if they were dead undead haunting a haunted churro factory, our price is triple, but we can still do it.
It's hard. It's tough work.
Yeah, it's hard work with undead dead Draculas.
All 8 episodes of Koala Man will drop on Hulu on Monday, January 9th. So
I love Monday.
Why, that's today.
What?
In the future.
in the future.
The Today of the Future, starring Rebecca Frost.
Another thing I got to look at today was they've been releasing more and more footage of this Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur cartoon.
I have a friend who has worked on this show, and I messaged her asking if there was anything she wanted me to share about the show. And I'm sorry to disappoint. She hasn't gotten back to me.
Oh, well, that's fine.
I just want to brag. I have a show.
Okay.
I have a friend who's working on the show.
They go to a different school though. Like you would know, or whatever.
Yeah, you wouldn't know her.
You can't
My
fact
friend,
check this, but it's
she's
true.
she's in Canada.
Yeah, you wouldn't know her. She's pretty cool though.
But because everyone's talking about the Spider-Verse animation, but if you look at the style of this animation for this cartoon, I'm really looking forward to it. It just looks great.
You know who it reminds me of? Former Geek Show podcast panelist Derek Hunter.
It does kind of look like his work a little bit, doesn't it?
Yep, it does.
Yeah. Go take a look at it. Go look online for footage of this. It doesn't premiere until February 10th on Disney Channel, and then shortly after on Disney Plus, it'll be
Nice.
there.
I'm excited for it.
That's in February, but it looks just incredible. Go take a look at some of the footage that they have released.
This is a
I'm just
stupid
really
question,
excited.
but are these existing proproperties or is this a brand
Oh,
new
yeah.
thing?
This
Yeah,
is
Moon
a
Girl
Marvel.
and Devil Dinosaur is a little Marvel comic that is actually very, very cute and very, very fun.
It started out a long time ago as Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur. Devil Dinosaur had his own comic for a while too, didn't he? Mm-hmm. I could be wrong, but it's an older property. Devil Dinosaur is, and then they rebooted it with Moon Girl and made it more interesting. It's
Closest
true.
thing I've ever seen to Devil Dinosaur is in Invincible. There's a bad guy. What's his name? I forget what his name is. He's like 3/4 of the way through the
Bad
series.
guy.
He shows up and he's a dinosaur that's really smart.
Something Rex. I forget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only
It's kind of a
influence I
side
have with
character,
dinosaurs in comics.
So we got other news, and I mean, we knew this would happen. I was just surprised at how quickly they agreed to this, because Netflix does not renew their shows on a timely basis. They get around to it.
They usually cancel them on a timely basis, though.
Yeah, canceled, that's easy. Renewing them, it takes them forever to make an official announcement. And we knew that Wednesday would get renewed, but they finally released that information this week, that Wednesday will, in fact, get season 2.
The smallest picture Lee could find of
It was seriously the only non-W whatever format picture I could find of the stupid show.
Oh, WEBS.
Yeah,
or something like that.
it's like
Now,
yeah.
Google's
the
new way of
question
rolling
the
out.
question that we have is how involved Tim Curry will, or not Tim Curry,
Well, I don't think Curry's going to be very involved.
Tim
I
Burton.
think Tim Curry is
He should be on
He's
my
in Muppet
Deadpool
Treasure
this year,
Island.
but he's not.
I was like, he should be on a Deadpool, yeah.
Tim Burton, how involved he will be, because he's all over season 1.
Yeah.
But the showrunners, Alfred Goh and Miles Millar, said they're, of course, happy to have a job. We just need to make sure that Wednesday hasn't emptied the pool first, they said.
Ha
Yes. And they also talked about, this is the fact that it really connected with audience. It's been really gratifying. We're excited to explore that Wednesday has dipped. Sorry.
Wendy's dip.
Too many commercials for Wendy's.
I could go for some Wendy's right now.
Oh, we can win.
Well, let me tell you about the French toast sticks, Tony. Let me.
Are they good?
Yeah, I actually genuinely want to know.
Gary, are you
brought it up.
allowed to have French toast sticks?
They're better than your mom's.
I hear they're just basically
one?
candy.
Nom, nom, nom.
Anyway, it says she's dipped her toe into the friendship pool. What's it going to look like? She hugged. That was the big arc for the season.
It's true.
I am so happy for everyone who really enjoys this show. If I could never hear about it again, though, I would be okay.
Just start referring to Wednesday as Odin's Day in normal conversation, and everyone will understand what you mean.
I've always looked at like post 1993 Tim Burton as like when normies want to dip their toe in the weird pool.
1993. So that's
yeah.
like the last 30 years.
Well, no, I mean like his early stuff
Everyone's
was
just a
super weird,
knockoff.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's. I mean, and there's no knock against people who like Tim Burton movies. I love Tim Burton movies, but it's like that's the safest weird you can get, right?
Yeah, there's an inflection point with Tim Burton. It was you have like pre Oyster Boy and the Melancholy Tales, and then like post that book.
Yeah, it's like once commercial success really hit hard for him, he started playing it safer, and that's fine. I get it. Your Red Hot Chili Peppers, they had to do that too, right?
Same thing. Made a lot of money.
Exactly.
You go, oh wait, these checks are bigger when I'm a little less insane.
You can buy a lot of pairs of BVDs with those checks.
That's true. Early Chili Peppers. That's right. That's a good example. I like that. Let's see. All right, on to our next story then. This is one that's been kicking around this week, and we want to set it straight. But I would caution Dave Bautista a little something here.
Hey, bow bow.
He is
Bow bow.
he's leaving the Marvel Cinematic Universe after 7 projects in 10 years as Drax. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
He talked about the role and why he was relieved to be done with it. He said, "It wasn't all pleasant. It was hard playing that role. The makeup process was beating me down, and I just don't know if I want Drax to be my legacy. It's a silly performance, and I want to do more dramatic stuff." Now, here's the part that they left out of a lot of these headlines.
Right.
I really wish they would have invested more in Drax personally, because I think Drax has more of a story to tell. I think Drax has a really interesting backstory, which they dropped the ball on. That's no dig on Marvel, but man, I think they really missed the ball on Drax. He's got such a great backstory. He is out talking about Knock at the Cabin, in which he is starring in, and his role in Dune is expanded apparently in the second one.
Nice.
But he said basically he wants to do more dramatic roles. He didn't knock Guardians of the Galaxy or Marvel.
No, but the headlines
He's
sure as
smart.
hell make it look like he did, right?
Exactly. The spin on this from a lot of news outlets was, oh, he hates everything.
No,
But that's
no.
not the case at all.
I am 100%, agreeing with the makeup process that he would have to go through for every day they shoot. It's got to be just insane.
Well, that's why he gets to wear the vest now.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, 'cause-
easier, yeah.
Because when we saw him in the vest at first, we thought, oh, I heard something about him saying, I'm getting to the point now where I can't just go through that all the time. And I thought, oh, he wanted to maybe eat a few more hamburgers, right? But really, after you see Glass Onion, you're like, no, he's still ripped as hell. He's just not wanting that's a full upper torso appliance. That's 5 hours in the chair, right? So
He's by far the most shirtless character of all the Marvel characters.
I remember when
Groot, excuse me.
Hey, well,
when the RZA did Man with the Iron Fists and he was in it, and Carrie and I were just like, yeah, not necessarily a great call on actors there, and he's really come a long way. Like there's been a couple parts he's done where you're like, yeah, he's got chops.
oh yeah.
Could have bigger
And again,
chops.
I think it's got everything to do with a good director, because in Knives Out, he's terrific. James Gunn, he's terrific. He kind of slips in some of these others. That zombie thing that he did with Zack Snyder, he was not good.
Yeah, because Zack Snyder only has 2 modes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Violence and brooding, and Batista's.
Batista needs a good director.
But there was a
Like
movie.
Blade Runner 2099. He was amazing in that.
2049, yeah.
It was brief, but
Sure.
that's when Villeneuve
Yeah,
brought him
every
into
year.
Dune. And I was just trying to think of.
He had a
Carry on.
role way back years ago in one of the Riddick movies, and I thought he was fine. He played a bounty hunter.
Was he one of the Chronicles?
He was not, unfortunately. he was not a chronicle of Riddick. He was a bounty
man.
hunter of Riddick.
He's
So-
emotions.
That second Riddick movie, oh my gosh, it was so amazing.
But I would just say this to Dave Bautista, because I read this sentence and I got a vibe. I don't know if I want Drax to be my legacy. It's a silly performance and I want to do more dramatic stuff. I know a couple of actors who said the same thing, and they're Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner.
Well, I wonder if he's using the word silly, because Drax is a silly character.
They've definitely
I
made
don't
that
think he's
character
using
silly.
Yeah, I don't think he's using silly in a derogatory way. I think
Well,
he's
I would
using it
just I would just say to him, you are beloved as that character. Don't snub it. Don't walk away from it. You know, don't do what Shatner did with Kirk, and then finally, later in life, go, oh, I should have embraced the character.
I get it as somebody, though, like, you know, when they decided that Worf needed to be the comedic relief in the last couple of Star Trek movies, it's like, this is your badass Ultimate Warrior. It's not a Zort, right? It's just not. Yeah. And they completely missed out on the whole background of being a street saxophone player. I mean, that is such a great background.
See, I was going to say let's go down to let's see what background he's talking about with Drax. The saxophone player part.
Yeah, he
don't
was a
think
street
so.
performing saxophone player, and then his wife and daughter were killed by Thanos, and that part they got right. But what they don't get is that his daughter's Moondragon, but they haven't introduced Moondragon in the MCU. So
Well, and if
Okay,
I remember,
Moon Girl.
if I remember correctly, he talks about it a little bit in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah,
And
in
then-
the first Guardians, he's like, I was out playing my Draximophone.
No,
and
not that part. But then he just kind of the character just never talks about it really again after the first Guardians.
Well, because he's found his new family with the Guardians. So
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's
okay.
why I think
Brought closure.
he's dying in this one.
Okay. As long as it's not Rocket, I'm fine.
Rocket, they're not
Yeah.
going to kill. They're not going to kill Rocket. They're going to
Good.
give Rocket his happy ending.
Good.
Giggity. And then, because Drax.
I don't
is
get it.
nothing-
Explain
Drax
it
is
to me.
nothing else. A happy ending is when you go to a massage parlor and
I've
They
been
have
massage-
those-
good massage.
and
They
they
have those
massage
on-
everything.
Yeah, they have
Everything.
they're all over on nowhere.
To
Just-
completion.
you can't
Yeah.
throw a rock
Touch my
on
glutes.
nowhere without hitting a massage parlor.
Well,
You
in the
also-
old days.
You also,
In the old
you
days.
also can't throw a rock in my part of town without running into one of those either.
Where do you
All
live?
right.
Just ask.
Oh, I live in downtown Salt Lake,
Salt
and
Lake City.
about every 6 months, one of the massage parlors in my neighborhood gets raided.
Oh, that's crazy. So it sounds like they need financial help. I'll come by.
Yeah, I was like, James,
I
get down
am-
there quick.
Lonely.
I hope your wife doesn't listen to this episode.
Oh, we lost her 20 minutes ago. She's not sticking in this long. Let's see. Okay, so this is our final story, and it comes with a quiz for y'all.
Uh-oh. Do I have to take notes?
Well, just think about it. California Democrat Robert Garcia, former mayor of Long Beach, California, proud representative of the LGBTQ plus community, proud immigrant, self-proclaimed comic book nerd, was sworn into Congress late last night. I got this story before he was sworn into Congress. He's not using a Bible to be sworn in on. He is using. This is what he said. We'll be proudly sworn in to Congress on the U.S. Constitution. Underneath the Constitution, there will be 3 items that mean a lot to me personally. A photo of my parents who I lost to COVID, my citizenship certificate, and an original Superman #1 from the Library of Congress.
Oh, heck.
And he then sent out another Instagram post. He says, okay, y'all, I'm freaking out. This is the congressional members' reading room in the Library of Congress. I can pull any comic book from what is the largest public comic collection in the country
wow.
and read them.
Whoa,
How
Wow.
fun.
that's wild.
So I read the whole thread because people were teasing him, and he said, for all of you upset that I still read comics and suggesting that I need to do more serious reading, anyone who understands comics knows that comics are an essential part of American fiction, and the lessons learned are invaluable. It's serious shit, he says.
Comic books are almost, you could say, like modern America's mythology.
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
I
know
just
what I
see
mean?
it as like comic books is the subtext of pop culture.
Yeah.
It's people that
Big
don't
time.
understand that it's just a metaphor for life now. I mean, Superman is the ultimate alien, right?
The ultimate immigrant.
The ultimate immigrant. Yeah.
Yeah, the ultimate immigrant. And so like people that don't understand that, Well, it's also a soap opera. You can go as deep or as shallow as you want.
Now, keep in mind that the Library of Congress has, well, just about anything in there. So
they have everything. I had a job where I worked for a ghostwriting company, and I had to submit books to the Library of Congress. First of all, their website has not been updated since 1996.
Unsurprising.
No joke.
Everything they have.
yeah,
Wasn't it like? Go ahead, Carrie.
I mean, they got Lord of the Rings. They got, maybe even the Necronomicon in there. I mean, they got all.
Isn't the whole point? The whole point of the Library of Congress is to just keep a record of all the media that's produced in the
Yeah.
U.S. at least. I think isn't it that kind of the point?
So I will ask you, as I got this from IO9, and I like the way that they put it. Which nerd Bible would you be sworn in on?
Oh, DC 1. Detective Comics #1. Easy. Done.
I've got it right over there
Batman.
for you, James. Got it right there for you.
Oh,
on
and
my-
you're
on
you're
my
talking
wall.
in your house. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I'll loan it to you.
I'm
Lee.
looking
You
at
said it with
my
such
own
confidence.
books.
Lee? What do you got there?
Frankenstein.
This is the Frankenstein illustrated by Bernie Wrightson, and it's what he considered to be his greatest work. And it's like, Bernie Wrightson created Swamp Thing and so many other iconic superhero characters, but what he never had the chance to do in comics was this style of black and white
Ooh.
pen and ink illustration.
That's nice.
And this book was gifted to me by one of my children, and it's amazing. Like, it's the full it hasn't been shortened, it hasn't been at all messed with, but it's beautiful and it's staggering, and it kind of makes me think about a career that really wasn't taken seriously. Even now, he's not really counted as one of the greats, even though he really was. Like, most of the really good illustrators right now go back to Wrightson as their huge influence. So this would be the one.
What
All
years
right.
did you say he was prominent as an artist?
Wrightson, most prominent in the 70s. That's like Swamp Thing #1.
Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so what's wild about Wrightson is his career was most prolific in the 60s when he was doing EC and horror comics. But the Swamp Thing title was the first time that he really broke into prominence in one of the major publishers. But, he died poor and unknown, just like the comic industry likes him.
All right, who's next? Rebecca?
I would do a box set of season 5 of American Dad.
I mean, that tracks. That is perfect.
That is, yeah.
I always wondered who the demographic for that show was, because
It's me.
I've never
Found
met
it.
anybody that says anything about American Dad.
I love it.
It's
Really?
Yeah.
I need to watch
it
the
is
show.
the only show I watch.
I've recently gone back from like Family Guy #1 and tried to rewatch the entire show.
I
and,
did that last year. It's
Pretty good.
funny. It's funny because it's
But there's a
very-
fall off point.
There's a fall off point, and it's definitely like it definitely belongs in the time period.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Let me-
like
Yeah.
there's some stuff with it that's very antiquated.
This is
But I've
for
never met American Dad. That's it.
this is for Rebecca.
Cheese nips are not the same as cheese-its. Why have a list if you're not going to follow it?
A literate girl is a lonely girl.
All right, Tony.
I would probably do Goosebumps One Day at Horrorland
Oh, that's such a good one.
because I think, to my recollection, that was the first book I read as a young lad that started getting me into reading in general.
There
I
you
didn't
go.
read comic books until I was like 16, 17. So I read books first and then eventually came into comic books. So yeah, Goosebumps One Day at Horrorland.
I would, in keeping with the true theme, if I were being sworn in now, as this guy was, of course it's got to be Captain America #1, where he's punching Hitler on the cover. That's good. If I'm picking a comic book, but if I'm picking a political book, it would be Hunter Thompson, Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail '72.
Nice.
Let's see our chat room. Jimmy John says the Guy Fieri cookbook. Does he have one? I didn't even know he had one.
I bet he
Fieri's
does.
probably
You
got
telling me
many
you
cookbooks.
think he's got? I'll Google it right now. guys.
He's also probably got like style guides for his hair.
Calvin and Hobbes full box set.
Oh,
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
There you
Guy,
go.
Guy on Fire, Guy Fieri, Family Food, Drive-Ins,
he does have
Drivers
some.
and Dines, and
Okay.
yeah, he's got a bunch.
Let's see. Mr. D be 5-star Batman Arkham Knight or Undertale.
Undertale's
Video game selection. Right on, right on.
Yeah. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, someone says.
Yeah, great.
42.
Oh, there you go. The Hobbits, is someone saying? Yeah. All right. So a lot of people weighing. Let us know on our social medias, on the Facebooks and the
or in the comments.
Yeah,
here.
comment in the comments.
or
section
comments
there,
here
too.
Yeah. Do it.
I've got a leather-bound edition of The Hobbit from 1990 that would be a close second.
I bet it smells great.
All right.
Seen a lot of
Leather-bound.
stuff.
Let's find out what y'all consumed this week. Who would like to go first?
I would like to go first. I have stuff. Oh my gosh!
go
I've been
out
waiting
on a
so long
limb.
to talk about this.
He's just
Ex-
been.
Have you guys?
Excitable James has the
think
floor.
James
Go
wants
ahead.
to go first.
Yeah.
There we go.
What are you doing,
Love,
bud?
Death, and Robots. Have you guys consumed this? Oh my gosh! I slept on that show for so long. It's so good.
every
it's
season.
so good.
So good.
I told somebody if they watched the entire first season before Sunday, I promised them I'd go to church with them.
Ooh.
And did they?
That's how much I want to. I'm a proselyter for this show, and I have 2 years of experience. And I speak
Okay, but
Malagasy.
did they? Did they?
I don't know. And at this
Well,
point,
it's
I'm
not
too
Sunday
afraid to
yet.
text and ask because I don't want to remind them because I really don't want to go because it's 1:00 and you might as well just eat up your entire day.
Right?
No, you're right. Speaking as someone who goes every week, you're right.
Well, and did you know they whittled it down to 2 hours? It's not 3 hours anymore.
Yeah, like
It's
I
2
said, I go
hours.
every week. I know these things.
You go every
Church chat. Welcome to
does.
church chat.
hey, guess what I don't do every Sunday, and it doesn't take 2 hours.
go to church?
Yeah.
I knew it.
You know what I do?
So,
on
I
Sunday?
go to
Love, Death, and
Costco.
Robots.
I go to
If you
Costco
guys
and it
haven't
takes
watched
2
the
hours.
show, oh my gosh, it's so good. And then Sandman.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
The show?
Two great shows.
They're both
right
on
there.
Netflix. I
Yep.
actually I love Sandman, the graphic novel. It's one of the first it is DC, but it's kind of not.
It's like
you know what I mean?
adjacent,
Yeah.
Yeah, what didn't it start out Vertigo or something like that?
Yeah, it's a Vertigo imprint
So,
for sure.
I'm
literally
a huge
started Vertigo.
Neil Gaiman fan.
Oh, there you go.
Huge.
Yeah.
I love the ability that he has. I even watch his masterclass, how he takes a well-known thing like Sleeping Beauty, and he's just like, well, isn't the prince into necromancy then? Necrophilia, because he's
think she's
making out
dead.
with a semi-dead person. And so I like the way that he thinks. I like the way his brain is. And the fact that Sandman kind of does that with the lamest character out there,
Yeah.
which is, sand. It's just not that cool. But he makes it really cool.
You have no idea, do you?
I have no idea. So I listened to the audio.
James,
And
have you listened to Norse mythology or read Norse mythology by Neil Gaiman?
I've read American Gods. I just finished that book.
Oh, that one's
That's my
fantastic.
favorite book.
That's a fantastic.
That book is
Why'd you get sworn
amazing,
in on
and I
that
need to
one?
read it a second time because it makes me feel stupid because I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, dude, check
in the
out
second
Norse.
half.
Check out Norse mythology by Neil Gaiman. It came out a couple years ago. He goes through and does a retelling of all the major Norse myths and legends. It's awesome.
Should I play that one game in order to get ready for it?
No.
God of War. Would that get me ready for the book?
No, that's a different telling of the Norse mythology.
And mostly made up.
How many different tellings are there? So Love, Death, and Robots is really good. And then I started, I'm almost done with season 1 of Sandman. And where I was going with that is, I love the graphic novel. It's slightly overrated because everybody always says Sandman in the same breath as Neil Gaiman. And he has so much good stuff. And it's good. It's a good show.
yes,
He is,
yes,
he
it
is
is.
adorable. He is excitable, James.
Dude, Love, Death, and Robots is so good.
The thing that's so awesome about Love, Death, and Robots is half of the stuff that they do on that. It's all short form animated stuff.
Some is 12 minutes, some's
Yeah.
22,
And
some's 40.
half of the stuff on there could make awesome series in and of themselves. And that's the
Guess
only
what?
thing that bums me
They
out
don't
about that
care
show
about
because
the
I'm just
cash.
like, I just want more of those.
They just tell the stories. How cool is that? Tell the
It's
story.
right.
Dude, there's an
it's
entire
also-
story about tilt shift zombie attacks.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
shot
yeah.
in tilt shift.
There's
It's so cool.
It's also a fantastic springboard for studios that need a Western audience before they break into something like Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Yep.
There you go.
James, can I just get you to say something for me?
Anything.
Say, it's really neat.
That's pretty neat.
There you
It's
go.
not every day you see all this neatness in one place. You can tell it's an aspen by the way it is.
You know,
there's
there's
only-
tree, by the way it is.
Only Rebecca can follow Excitable James, but first for Rebecca, another American Dad gift.
Oh, hey, Francine, did you get those pecan sandies I asked for?
Oh, Roger, I'm sorry. I was at the market yesterday and I forgot.
Pretty sure I asked for pecan sandies.
Rebecca, what have you consumed
I
this week?
watched a lot of stuff this week. I'll save one item so that you and me and Lee can talk about it.
Oh, yes.
Wow,
So
okay.
the first movie I watched.
Yeah, we don't matter.
I mean, it's
You
not
guys
like
didn't
we're
watch it.
here
Did you guys
also.
watch the menu? Did you guys watch the menu? Do you guys want to talk about the menu?
No, now I feel left out. Thank you.
Okay,
Love
well,
Death and
maybe
Robots.
watch the
I thought I made
menu
that
and then
pretty
we can
clear.
talk about it.
That was you being left out is actually a course on the menu.
As a white male in 2023, I'm not left out of
So-
a lot of stuff, and I'm not used to it, and I don't like it.
That's true.
Yeah,
like it.
James, you tell
Hey,
him.
this fits right in
gonna start
to
a forum.
this. The first movie I watched was Banshees of Inisherin, which I know Shannon talked about previously, but written and directed by Martin McDonagh, who did In Bruges and 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. It takes place in 1923 on this small island in Ireland called Inisherin, and it's about these two friends, Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell. And one day, Brendan Gleeson decides he doesn't want to be friends with Colin Farrell anymore, and that's the movie.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's actually really well done. Because it gets tense, and it's a really great story about kind of toxic masculinity, but also poor communication choices. If you've ever been through a friend breakup, this is a really great movie. But I just have a tender place in my heart for Martin McDonagh anyway, because he was a playwright turned screenwriter, and I
And
just
In
think
Bruges is proof of that.
and I just think that's really neat.
And I just refer to it as the way Lee refers to it, the bad knees of Ed Sheeran is the movie.
And even though I am of English and Irish descent, I do recommend subtitles because
Yes,
we
Ooh,
got them thick accents.
especially this movie, yes.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you have?
If I
them
can,
thick accents.
It's the accents.
don't get James started on accents, please
I'm
don't.
very good at European speaking.
them
I've finally-
thick accents.
I finally beat it out of him in Gadget Spot. I don't want him starting here.
Oh, don't encourage
I
it.
James, have you
get
watched
the
Attack the
hubris
Block?
back.
Have you watched Attack the Block?
Oh yeah,
If I
Accent
can,
Central.
if I can
That's
understand
another-
the accents in Dairy Girl, will I be okay with this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might be. You might be.
The
Attention,
next
lady.
the next movie I watched is an HBO documentary called "This Place Rules" by
Yes, I watched
Andrew
that yesterday
Callahan.
too. Yes.
I texted Carrie immediately. I was like, "Oh, this is an A24 production, automatic 5 stars."
Well, and produced by Tim and Eric.
And produced by Tim and Eric.
That's a double win.
Again, a double whammy. It's good. It's good. Andrew Callahan's whole shtick was he goes around to different events and interviews people and blah blah blah. And so This Place Rules is all about him going to different rallies and stuff leading up to January 6th. So
Wow. So
know.
What happened on January 6th? I don't understand.
they finally
Here we
swore
go.
in the 118th Congress is what they did.
Oh,
Andrew
I thought it was
Callahan-
the 118th vote for the speaker.
if you're if
No,
if,
Matt Gaetz would never let it get above 18.
if anyone's well played, holy cow!
This is why she's wearing the hoodie.
I'm not even gonna bother saying whatever I was because I can't follow that.
That was very nice. The word.
Very
the-
nice.
The other thing that I loved about This Place Rules is that he exposes the true truth about what I call the angertainment complex.
He does, and it's really fascinating because he interviews both the leader of the Proud Boys and Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to watch him interview Alex Jones and
Excuse me.
Don't
Alex
say
Jones?
that.
My dog doesn't like
You
Alex.
said his name 3 times.
That's the attack word. You know,
Yeah.
some dogs are trained with attack words, and hers is Alex Jones. Mine's is Nixon.
But it's really interesting because you watch the leader of the Proud Boys and Alex Jones really push the narrative of, you know, we got to protect our country and blah, blah, blah. But then after January 6th, watch them try to backtrack and cover their asses
Womp womp.
as if to say, oh, we had nothing to do with this.
But the other thing that he exposes in that as well is that these characters don't necessarily believe the things that they're saying.
No, because the Proud Boys guy, I literally can't even remember his name. He is like...
Terrio.
He's like, no, this is not. We're a
It's
gun
about
club,
selling
with
t-shirts.
we're a drinking club with a politics problem, and he doesn't even drink.
No, what they are into, what they do, and I'll say this about these two and Joe Rogan and you name them, and they're the same. It's about selling merchandise.
Yep.
It's getting you riled up to buy powder protein and
and
T-shirts.
And who
I
did they
never
learn that
watched-
from?
You?
No,
Let's say it together.
Rush Limbaugh?
Rush Limbaugh.
Reagan.
Got
No,
it.
Limbaugh.
Got it.
When the Fairness Doctrine was repealed, and AM radio was dying, Limbaugh went around and said, "I will give you 3 hours of programming for free. In exchange, I get 2 minutes of advertising an hour." And he built an empire off of that 2 minutes.
Well, and it was kind of crazy. I've never watched like a minute of Alex Jones's content, but it was really funny to watch him go like, "You need my vitamins. You need my blah blah blah. You need my blah blah blah."
And people
Yeah.
eat it up that are
And
into
it's
him.
Nuts.
And it's the same with all, you name them, Rogan, you name them. They're all. That's what this is all about, is selling
Hannity.
merchandise.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Anyway,
the
go
other
ahead,
thing,
sorry.
I will say that if you don't know who Andrew Callahan is, look up All Gas No Brakes on YouTube.
That's the show
And
he
that's
does,
the channel that he does. He goes around. Some of his best stuff is interviewing people at NASCAR races.
Oh, yeah.
Wow!
yeah.
Just a bunch of weirdos.
Anyway.
Then I watched The Menu, but I'll save that for later. And then Thursday I went to go see Megan Mathregan, as I've
how
been
is
calling
that?
it. Let me tell ya,
Mathregan.
there's a reason it's trending at 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, nice.
I didn't realize it was PG-13, but that's okay. Essentially, this I don't even know where to begin with this movie. It's got so much stuff that I absolutely love. Essentially what it is, story of a 9-year-old girl who goes to live with her aunt after her parents are killed, and her aunt is a toy designer engineer, and she has designed this robot doll called Megan, and uses the prototype with her niece to help the niece cope with the death of her parents. And it really just, the evolution of a killer doll, the evolution of an AI designed to protect this 9-year-old. And it's got a lot of really great messaging. Women in STEM, women can also design killer robots.
That's right.
Us too.
It's not like really, there's some gore, but not really.
They can't get too crazy if they kept a PG-13 rating.
That's the thing. There was like 2 kids in the row in front of us, and I was like, why are people bringing kids to horror movies? And I'm actually coming around on kids at horror movies because they have the best reactions. Because Megan is actually a very funny movie. It's pretty funny, and towards the end, one of the kids' adults was laughing, and the kid said, "Stop laughing," which made me and my friend PJ start laughing even harder. But just killer robot doll.
What do you give it?
I gave it 4.5 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah, and afterwards, our electric chairs weren't working, and so we had to like climb out of them. And I was like, "It's Megan, she's here." So
You almost got Chair Mathregan.
Chair Mathregan, yeah. So I definitely recommend Mathregan. But then also
Okay.
The Menu. If you guys would like to talk with me about The Menu,
I'd be happy to.
because The Menu, the guy who directed it, Mark Mylod, I think. I don't know, but he's directed episodes of Succession, Game of Thrones, Shameless. But then the screenwriters are people who have worked on Seth Meyers, Comedy Bang Bang, John Oliver. So you have these comic writers and this very serious director, and you get
I love
A
it.
masterpiece.
It is
Get a little bit of everything.
It is the tensest comedy I have ever watched,
Yes.
and it has an incredible cast, and it is so very clearly talking. If you have not worked in food service, this movie may not hit all of your buttons, but if you've worked in food service, there's going to be some stuff that happens in that. Like, I've worked in restaurants where not quite that obsession with the chef, but pretty damn close. And my brother is an executive chef for Hilton. On like, if you've eaten an East Coast Hilton dining establishment, you've eaten my brother's food, right? He's designed those menus, and he does have people in his downline that look up to him. Not quite there, but pretty damn close. It's wild.
My takeaway from this movie was respect service workers.
My take from it was I've become a little too obsessed with that scene, just chefs and all of that.
Which they address
pulled
in
me
the
back.
movie.
Which they address in the movie. I went, oh, that's me. That's me, isn't it?
Oh, I see
myself.
You're Nicholas Holt.
Dang it.
I'm almost Nicholas Holt because there are like 3 or 4 chefs that I follow intensely, and
There's not to recommend another podcast, but there's a podcast I listen to called Leguizamo Rama, and it's a podcast that only talks about John Leguizamo movies. And their episode about the menu.
How much content can you have only talking about John Leguizamo
well,
movies?
right
lot.
now, between this and Violent Night, he's having a good year.
Fair.
And
that
their
movie's good.
episode about the menu is actually very good because they do a very good job of describing John Leguizamo and what he adds to an ensemble cast.
Yes.
oh yes,
And John Leguizamo, he plays an aging, aging movie star essentially. But you have all of these different little side stories happening, and they do kind of intertwine.
You got tech bros, you got foodies, you've got it's
all the
it's
worst
fantastic.
people,
Yeah, yep.
all right,
All the worst people.
and
Yeah.
I'm one of them. Anyway,
Hey, no, come on. Hey.
who's next? Lee.
I have a long list because I haven't actually talked about what I've consumed in 3 weeks. So I'll make it quick. Glass Onion, fantastic movie. For people who
Very cool.
say it's no Knives Out, well, you're right, it is no Knives Out, but it is. If you watch it a second time, there's some very interesting things that you notice that you did not notice the first time through.
An entirely different movie the second
Entirely
time.
different movie.
So much fun.
Because Benoit Blanc says multiple times it's all been in plain sight the whole time. You watch it the second time through and you're like, "Son of a bitch, you're right. It has been all in plain sight right from the beginning." A little show called Battlestar Galactica. Watched season 1 and just finished season 2. That show is fantastic. The new one. The new one.
The good one.
The
Yeah,
Ron
I was going to
Moore
say,
one.
there's a right answer. Yeah.
Hot take on Black Adam.
Oh, yes.
You ready for this? Hot take on Black Adam?
I'm ready.
That movie's too long. You know why it's too long?
Yeah.
Slow motion. If you took all the slow motion and made it normal speed, that movie would have been 1 hour and 10 minutes. Okay. I watched a little movie. I watched a controversial little movie called Don't Worry, Darling. And as I had not any inclination towards following the drama behind that movie, I found it a tense little thriller that was very well acted by all but one person.
Harry Styles.
Olivia
Not a good actor.
Wilde.
So White Lotus season 2.
Yeah.
If you want to, literally the best death by yacht I've ever seen on a television series.
Oh my gosh.
Lee, this has been a tense week for you, hasn't it?
Borderline
Oh, it's
self-induced.
three weeks.
3 weeks. Oh, right.
So pop star.
Yes.
Don't stop, never stop it.
I also watched that.
That movie is funny as hell, and
Love
it
it.
has the most uncomfortable dangling penis scene I think I've ever seen in a movie.
I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard.
I finally
Movie's
watched.
a little worn at that part.
Finally watched Midsummer, which we did our first season 2 of Spooky Time Club covers Midsummer. Watched The Menu, which is fantastic, and then I went and did some YouTube homework because this is what I do. I get obsessed with something and I just consume all of it. So I've watched just about everything with Buster Keaton that I can find, and oh my holy hell, that dude! I thought his career was over like in the 20s. Oh, it went well on into the 60s, but this guy, fearless pioneer of stunt work, of comedy, of slapstick, of pratfalls, and he was only like 5'5", so when you see him doing these things, and then I was reading one of the documentaries, or watching one of the documentaries where they were talking about when he found out that he had broken his neck in a stunt. and didn't know. He just
Didn't
kept
know.
doing the thing.
Yeah.
And 10 years later, they're like, "Oh, when did you break your neck?" And he's like, "Oh, that was when the water tower fell on me." So anyway.
He reminds me of a guy, like someone who doesn't have the part of the brain that produces the fear.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So
like
when he started out in Roscoe Arbuckle movies, there'd be things like, "Oh, we have to have this woman jump off this 3-story roller coaster into the ocean, but she doesn't want to do it." And Buster Keaton's like, "Give me the dress."
I'll do it.
Yeah.
you
So
just play the Jackass theme song before he does something like that.
No,
My name's Buster Keaton.
there is a bit. Johnny Knoxville actually talks about him quite a bit, where he says, "We watch his stuff and go, no."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah. So and
They
then
didn't have tetanus back then.
well, and he kind of intended on like if we can't do it in one take, we're just not going to do it. So a lot of times that was the one take that they did of that. So and then finally, if you can find it, because we're at the 30th anniversary of Batman the Animated Series, there are quite a few documentaries floating around Netflix talking about the creation of this series, and one of them covers their original choice of the Joker, which is Tim Curry, and
Ooh.
Tim Curry's actual voice on the animated Joker, and they're just like, the problem was it was too sinister and too scary for kids and a little too arousing for some adults. Like they would hear the voice and
I
go,
believe it.
Joker's
okay,
a little
hold on. A
Joker's
voice that's too scary for kids, but a little too arousing for
a little
adults?
too
Stop. I can only
a
get
little
so
too
erect.
sexy. So when they went back to their second choice, Mark Hamill, they said, "Hey, can you do what he did, but a little funnier?" And that's how we got Mark.
Can you do this less scary and less sexy? I know it's a weird request.
A little bit less erotic.
Yeah,
I could do it
so-
less scary, but definitely not less
What's the
sexy.
name of this documentary?
Yeah, I want to hear
It's just-
Tim Curry
it's just-
now as the Joker.
Just look up Tim Curry Joker on Netflix and or on YouTube, and you'll find it.
Okay,
But that's
cool.
that's my 3 weeks.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
I watched a couple of the same stuff you guys already mentioned. Popstar, just phenomenal. I don't know why I waited so long to watch it for the first time.
So good,
I'm
man.
sorry, Tony. I have to do this. I was supposed to do this before, but friends, if you don't have Einstein Health Focus liquid blend in your life right now, you will die. Your brain will die. Everything about you will die. You need to drink this right now.
Thank you,
Changed,
Alex.
man.
Operators are standing by.
Yeah, Popstar and Glass Onion, phenomenal. I finally, on Christmas Day, we watched Violent Night. Great movie. Just if you're looking for
What
a
a
John Wick
sleeper,
and a
man.
Santa, John Wick movie with Christmas. That's basically this.
Best delivery of the word skull crusher in any movie.
Yeah, really good. And then we watched that new what's his name? Noah Baumbach.
No, Blomkamp?
Baumbach.
Greta Gerwig's boyfriend.
Yeah, White Noise. I don't know if I recommend it.
You don't know.
That's a divisive one. I have heard that people who really like it really liked the book.
I haven't seen that. Oh,
haven't seen
it
that
was
book?
a book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read it then.
All right.
But yeah, White Noise, it was interesting. I like the actors. It's got Greta Gerwig, Don Cheadle, Adam Driver. That's why we watched it. And then as
Don
we watched
Cheadle.
it, yeah, I'm just like, this is
Or
interesting. But anyway,
Don
if you like Noah Baumbach movies, then you're gonna like it because it's similar
Well,
to the
then
other
you
stuff
strap
that
in
he's
because
done.
the Barbie movie's coming out 2023, written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach.
Oh, really?
There you
Okay.
go.
Well, Baumbach's worked with what's his face, Wes
Anderson.
Anderson
Studi.
a lot,
Oh.
and you can tell their styles are fairly similar. So, and
Then
then
like
we
everything right in the center of the frame. Everything has to be semi.
a lot of melancholy delivery of
Marriage
delivery of
Story.
lines.
If you saw
Yep.
Marriage Story.
Hotel Rwanda.
And we watched Bullet Train.
Are you just throwing titles out
This
now?
is-
Is it?
I
No,
forgot
he did
Bullet
Hotel
Train.
Rwanda.
Tell me
Bullet
about Bullet
Train,
Train,
too.
Tony.
Bullet Train is a 5 out of 5 masterpiece. No notes. It was just so great.
It is so much fun.
Yep, 100%. If you haven't watched Bullet
Everything has a
Train
payoff. Every
Yep.
setup has a payoff. It's
Yep.
great.
yet, loved it.
Yeah, like if you were to really get into the art of writing a good, or I should say a perfect action movie, that's it. That's your primer right
It
there.
really is.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we watched the first season and a half of Ghosts, the U.S. version of
Oh,
Ghosts.
how is it? How is
People love that show.
So,
I've not seen it, but
it was
boy.
not the pilot almost turned me off to it. It was pretty but it's like they got a bunch of new writers or something starting with when the series actually started with the second episode, and it gets a lot better from there. So
Is that the series with the pottery?
nope.
No, that's the movie
That's the movie Ghost. I don't
Ghost.
know. So
the
anyway,
sequel.
with our friend Patrick
It's-
Swayze.
it's actually quite funny. I really enjoyed it. We watched all that we could over the course of like 5 days, and we liked it so much that it's like, well, let's try out the UK version, which there's 3 seasons of that. That's what the US version is based on, and that's also really funny. So if and they're different enough that you don't feel like you're just watching the same show with accents. So Ghosts, quite funny.
All right.
Fantastic.
Let's see. This Place Rules we talked about. The Menu we talked about. I finally finished. It took me a few days. RRR on Netflix. I
Got
laughed
Rebecca's
my
attention.
ass off.
Is it fun? Is it a funny movie?
Well, to me it was.
It's
It's a perfect
bombastic.
movie. It's a perfect movie. I want to watch it in a full theater.
I kept yelling at the screen, "Why don't you two just kiss and get it over with?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's my youngest in everything.
Not
Just
not
kiss.
to-
just kiss.
Come on, how about the dance off? Let's talk about the dance off.
Yeah, there's a dance off in this action movie. There's
Let's
musicals.
talk about when they infiltrate the palace or mansion or whatever, and they drive in with the van, and the van turns, and the thing comes off, and all the animals come out of the.
Is there a lot of slow motion stuff in? Okay, so
It's
this
good,
is
though. It's
straight
good, though.
Bollywood
Yeah.
action movie.
Oh, it's a
Okay.
Oh, it's
Bollywood
so
action
good.
movie with
You get,
it's
you
got
get-
everything.
There's this thing called the hero's introduction in these movies, okay, and that's why each character gets like
Half an hour.
like a half hour introduction.
Oh my
because,
gosh.
Because
Yeah.
it's to allow the audiences to go, woo, yeah, woo, and the one guy's covering himself in blood, and he's gonna go get a tiger. Come on, and the one guy who he's working for the government, and the guy's like, go get that one, and there's like bajillions of people around, okay, and the one guy is like, hey,
Yeah.
I want that one guy, and the one guy's like, okay, I'm gonna go get him, and he is unstoppable. It is a story about a couple of unstoppable bros.
I don't know if I can watch this.
I would
it's
like
so
a movie
good.
Describe off with Rebecca. I challenge. White glove, take it off,
So
slap across your face.
so my summation was, why don't they just kiss? And there's Rebecca's
There's
summation.
Rebecca's. One's
Anyway.
quite long, the other not so much.
I'm Emily the Criminal. I watched this week.
I want to
Oh.
watch that.
That's
So
the
what line
Aubrey
of work
Plaza
she in?
one, right?
And Aubrey Plaza, as I'm watching this, because she's playing a criminal, and as I'm watching this, I'm looking at her and looking at the way she's doing things, and I'm like, if you ever reboot Alien, or if you ever want to do Ripley from Alien again, right there, right there.
There is going to come a point where Aubrey Plaza does something where she wins everything, and some people are going to say she doesn't deserve it. She's just that stupid character from Parks and Rec. And
hey.
there are going to be other people who are going to turn around and say, no, she's always had this in her. She's
Yeah,
amazing.
She was
She's-
awesome in White Lotus season 2.
Yeah.
Just
She can
awesome.
do anything, man. She can do comedy, drama.
Legion.
Oh yeah, she was great. in
Love
that.
her.
Yeah, she's good in Legion.
I've finally finished the last 2 seasons of Better Call Saul. And enjoyed them so much that I wish I had more. That's
Yeah.
how much I liked it.
They were great.
And finally this, and I'm late to this one, Rebecca I know has seen this, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
Did you cry?
My eyes out. So that's just a warning right away.
Oh, it's so good though.
It's really good, and I can't say it's a kid's movie at all. It's
No,
just,
not really.
it's too deep for kids.
Are you allowed to say who the antagonist in that movie is?
There
Grief?
really is, yeah.
Did you say greed? Is it a capitalist?
No, I agree.
Oh, dang it.
General
Grief.
Grievous. No, Grief is, you're right.
Microplastics.
Any games, Tony?
Nope.
No?
What? There has to be something, Tony. Make something up.
Go play
I've
your
been playing
backlog.
Spider-Man. I've been thwipping through New York. I've been playing
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, go
All
play
right.
your backlog, everybody.
come
it's,
play,
it's a good time for that.
Come play Dark Tide with us.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So since Mr. B and Jay are on assignment this week, but since Mr. B is not here, Rebecca, allow me to close the show with this.
Did you get those pecan sandies I asked for?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
Pretty sure I asked for pecan sandies.
The
Thanks.
breath.
Thanks everybody for following along and participating in chat.
Yeah, thanks.
Make sure to like and subscribe to our German friends.
Smash that like and subscribe
I
button.
like it. I like that. Hit that like button.
Should we end the broadcast, Tony?
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tickle the button.
Bye-bye.